Hey everybody, it's Coach Tom. How are you? Doing this quick message today because it's going to be a while before we can have a parent meeting. The high school pool at Camp McMillan continues to be under construction. Any day it'll be repaired, but we don't know when. So I want to get this message out to you in advance in case the parent meeting doesn't happen for the next few weeks. Here's what we'll talk about today. We're going to do a little coach's timeline, talk about what we're going to do at practices, swimmer expectations, parent expectations, competition, a little bit on communications, and then we'll wrap it up. For our new families, I just wanted to give you a chance to see what my background is. Been around this a little while. Looking forward to taking all the things I've seen over the years from many different coaches and trying to take all those good things and put them into practice with our team. So it's going to be exciting for all of us, and we're really looking forward to it. My wife Molly and I are convinced that the great experiences that we had as part of this YMCA swim team have helped us and helped our children to become successful. We stay involved in this program simply because we want your children to have those same opportunities. We're fortunate to have many assistant coaches on our team. Everybody has a day job, so you only see certain assistants on certain days, but that's okay with us. Everybody knows what our philosophy is. Many of them have come from our program. In fact, most of them have come out of our program. So they know what to expect, and they'll do a great job, and we'll be happy to have them on any day that they can provide for us. It's a true team effort as far as the coaching goes. Here's a quick look in the rearview mirror. Just wanted to give my appreciation to Coach Jeff for being with us for the last 6 months. We appreciate all the hard work he's done. Many of you may not realize that he's been working 14-hour days for pretty much 6 months while we open our new YMCA up in Bethel Park. Things didn't work out exactly the way I think he expected, or for that matter, the way the Y expected. But that's in the rearview mirror. Thanks, Coach Jeff. We wish you well, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon. The Y is working to replace Coach Jeff as an aquatics director for Washington County. We have some great candidates. We hope to have a selection made by December 1st. Mostly it's so that we can get our community programs up and running again, and our swim lesson program can be much more robust. So we're excited to see that start somewhere around December 1st. And then that aquatics director would hopefully someday be our new head coach. So that's the plan. And that person would take over as head coach as early as next spring. Let's move on to our practice plans. Here's a short version. Our goal for your children is to make every practice the best part of their day. The practice format won't change a lot from what your kids are used to. The only thing that we're going to do is we are going to have a team briefing that's inserted now. I believe very strongly that we need to communicate with the kids every day. Now this won't be a 20-minute talk. I know at times those tend to get a little bit long, but it'll be a short team briefing. Our plan right now is to leave the kids in the water while we talk to them. We want to keep them up to date on what's going on. The other thing that will happen is 6:45 to 7 we'll be doing the full teamwork, because one of the things we believe in also in the program is that the little kids need to know the big kids, and the big kids need to know the little kids. Everybody needs to know everybody. This is a mentoring opportunity for the older kids, also a mentoring opportunity for the younger kids to be mentees. So it's very important that we work as a group. And every day that will happen between 6:45 and 7 p.m. We found it to be much more successful for keeping the younger kids, and when I say younger, the first year kids and the really little ones, shorten their practice, ended at 7 o'clock. Their attention span is really short. We have plenty of time to make progress with them between 5:30 and 7. I think that we'll just continue that. Our 7 to 7:30s will be switching into more of a focus clinic. We've really been doing that all season, so there's nothing different there. I think that we will talk about specifics to help them become faster and better. On Fridays, we will have fun days, but on certain days, depending on where we are, we may also switch those into clinic mode from 7 to 7:30. Lots of parents want to know why their swimmer's in what lane. Here you go. If you're in lane 1 and lane 2, your chore is to learn the strokes and learn to dive. We daily focus on freestyle and backstroke because that's ones that they can make some progress on very easily, but we also begin to work on the other strokes. Our lane 1 kids move to lane 2 as soon as they can really swim a 50. 50 yards, that's 2 lengths of the pool. The lane 2 guys can actually move over to lane 6 when they can swim 100 yards of each stroke. Our lane 5 and lane 6 swimmers are the next group. All of those can swim 100 yards of all the strokes. They will work on all 4 strokes during every practice. They'll also learn to use a pace clock, which they can explain to you. We'll focus on improving their techniques. Also, the faster swimmers will move into lane 5, and then eventually they'll move across from 5 to 4. So the kids in the middle of the pool are the most experienced typically. They are going to have to be able to swim all strokes to the distance of 200s. 200-yard events are the longest of our events, except for a couple others. But 200 yards are what they're got to be able to do to get into lane 3s and lane 4. They know how to use the pace clock. We'll focus on improving their technique, and then the fastest swimmers will get into these lanes on any given day. So it just depends on who's at practice. But typically we'll move the fastest swimmers from whoever is present at practice and can do the 200 yards of all strokes. They'll be the ones in the middle of the pool. Please remember the coaches will move the kids around in the pool depending on lots of factors on any given day. How many kids are in the water, how many coaches are there, what we're going to be working on that day. We'll move them around. If they get moved from their lane to a lesser lane, please remember this is not a punishment tool. We're just trying to move everybody around and make the practice experience as good as we can for everybody. The water's exactly the same in all 6 lanes. They don't own a particular lane. They'll have a great experience. We'll explain it to them. It'll be okay. Those of you that know me, you know I'm an engineer by trade and actually spent time as a CFO, and I sleep with a CPA. So that makes me a pretty analytical person. So my coaching philosophy is that we're going to be analytical about this. We're going to reduce our drag. We're going to increase our distance per stroke with technique. So that means that everything we do will have a purpose. All the yards we do will have a purpose. We'll focus on quality over quantity. We'll focus on fast and hard. And if we're not doing something fast and hard, we're going to try to do it slowly and correctly. We're going to do corrections. That means we're going to try to make your children swim the strokes in a way that will help them swim fast by correcting their stroke flaws. We're going to try to create good habits. If they practice well, they'll compete well. That's very important to us as a coaching staff. That will be our focus. So we see that we're practicing for a relatively short period of time if you are the experienced swimmers. But don't be fooled. They're going to work really hard for an hour every day. Everything they do, we're going to try to get them to do it at what we call race paced. That way they're going to work hard even though they're not going to have to be swimming 7,000 yards. We have found that to be successful. We will continue that path. Coach Steve led us down that path. We like the path. That's how we're going to do it. We're hoping for a lot of success. By the way, competition philosophy. You should compete because it's fun. We should teach the kids that if they don't take a risk, there's no reward. That means we need them to push really hard at their meets, and we want them to worry less. That's our competition philosophy. During competitions, that's not really the time to fix stroke flaws. We just want them to let it all out during the competitions. So what do we expect from your swimmers? We expect them to listen to us as coaches. We want them to practice good lane etiquette. Ask them what that means. They know. We want them to be nice to each other, and we also want them to show great sportsmanship. The older kids, we want them to be role models. That's a big ask of them, but it is something that we find very important in our program. Here's a huge one. We want the kids to understand the correlation between their work level and their success. That's a short way of saying the coaches can't do the work for them. We can tell them what to do, how to do it, lots of things, but they actually have to be the ones that are willing to put the work in. So they have to work hard at everything that we give them. That will help them succeed. The harder they work, the faster they go. It's really pretty simple in swimming. That's the way it works. And they also need to understand that swimming and life is all about building relationships. And the last thing we want them to know is we want them to learn that coaches care about them. We care about them. Okay, parents, what do we expect from you guys? Well, we ask that you let the coaches coach. Stay in the stands. Let us do the coaching for the kids. We've got it. We've done this a little bit. We kind of know what we're doing. So just let us be the voice for your children when it comes to swimming, please. Next, after your child swims in a competition or at any other time, please provide unconditional support. They're going to have good swims, they're going to have bad swims. Just hug them, tell them you love them. That's all you need to do every time they swim. Next, you're sitting in the stands all the time, or you're sitting in the gym at invitationals or wherever you are. Meet your swim family. Get to know these people. They're nice people. It really is a family. We're building relationships. So get to know your fellow parents. Get to know the other kids. Communicate. So see me before or after practice if you have any questions, please. Please don't interrupt us during practice. The pool's almost always full. We have a big crowd, 115, 120 kids on the team. Please tell me about issues before or after practice. Next, know that we as a coaching staff care for your children. That's the basis by which everything we do begins. Everything we're trying to do is to help them, and we care about them. Lastly, volunteer. There's things that we need help with to run the team the way that it could be run. We run great meets. We do great stuff for kids. We hope you'll volunteer and be part of that. Biggest thing on competition we want everybody to know is that all swimmers of all levels should compete in the meets. Competition is a very important part of the learning process, and we really want everybody to compete regardless of their level. Kids shouldn't worry. There's plenty of kids at all levels in meets. You'll see children that have never swam before that are struggling to make a 25, and you'll see children that are national level swimmers, all in the same swim meet. So everybody should try to compete. There are dual meets. So that's us against one other team. The coaching staff determines those lineups. Now we just sent out a sign up for people so that the kids can tell us what they'd like to swim. That's to help us set up the lineup. But we ultimately determine who will swim in what events in a dual meet. There is no bench in swimming. That means everybody swims. So your child's not going to go to the meet and not get an opportunity to swim. They will all swim. We typically will put them in every event that we can, as long as they can do so legally. More on that at another meeting. Relay participants are chosen based on times. Your kids will understand that. Every effort is made to win dual meets. So when we go to a dual meet, we're going to try to load up every event with at least 3 of our swimmers. So that is the basis by which we determine who swims what, so that we can win the meet and score as many possible points as we can during the meet. However, individually, your swimmer's goal is to get a personal best time. We'll talk more about the importance of top times or best times later as the season goes along. A couple things we're going to do a little differently. I'm big on communications. So we're going to talk to the kids at every practice, as we mentioned before. That is a must. I want to talk to them every day. The weekly communication is something different. We're going to send out to everybody through our channels what our practice plan is. This isn't the detailed practice plan, just generically. Hey, what are we going to work on this week? We're going to try to send out the coaches on each day. So maybe somebody wants to be at a coach, see a certain coach on a certain day. We don't mind that you know that. We're also going to send out some tidbits here and there. We have a Facebook group. We have a Twitter following. Those are going to be channels that will send out things that might be helpful to you. Videos about swimming, details about swimming, those sorts of things. So use the channels. I'm going to try to communicate through that. There's 120 of you swimmers, so communication is not easy. So we're going to try to do that through some internet channels as best we can. Here's how you can reach me. You should know that probably the best way to do it is via the email. I do watch my emails all day. So we'll try to respond to you very rapidly. If you call me, that's great too. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or you can text me to that phone number as well. Just please remember, when you communicate, would you please tell me who you are, but also tell me who your swimmer is so I understand who I'm talking with. Thanks for being a part of this today. We're really looking forward to an exciting season. We can't wait to get things started here in the first week. Coming up, we have our first meet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to working with you. Look forward to seeing you at the pool. Go Tiger Sharks. I'll see you soon.